minutes. T-minus 9 minutes. T-minus 8 minutes. T-minus 7 minutes. 5 minutes. T-minus for minutes. T-minus 3 minutes. T-minus 2 minutes. T-minus 1 minute. Stand by.
Big event. Okay.
How about that?
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. It's a very special day. Where's my bell? I have it. We're on location, Western Dodge in Moose Jaw. It's a home game weekend. We have a Hall of Famer in our midst and a Los Angeles Raiders alum as we're streaming on Game Plus. Going to air in Nevada in hour 2. Dan Ratchovich on the Silver State Sports Network. Yes, Western Dodge. Ta-da. We're rocking it, kicking it old school here. Raz is with us. Saskatchewan Roughriders Hall of Famer, Raiders alum, which I didn't even know until one of the last times that we chatted. Raz, how you doing, my man?
I'm great, thanks. I'm just glad I'm here because I was hitting some top speeds here coming from Regina.
Okay, well, let's we're gonna have some fun. We got the live streaming audience here. Yes, Football Friday. Raz, if you ever get bored, you can look right in there. There's all the comments from all the viewers. And I want to get to your comments in a second, but this is the warm-up brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel, the official travel partner of the BC Lions and the RP Show, and they're traveling here this weekend. So here's what we're going to do. Me and Raz for all of hour 1 and a little bit of hour 2. Those Vegas viewers, as you know, Silver Sports are going to be very excited about his Raiders stories. Did I tell you that we're airing in Vegas now?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Now you know. Now you know. And I know you got the great Al Davis stories from your time in camp with the Raiders. But Rider home game weekend, home opener, you going?
I'm going. And me, my wife, I got a buddy flying out from Vancouver. He's a Lions fan, but that's okay. It'll be good.
Who is he?
His name's Mario Hocevar. So he's from North Van. He went to high school with Glenn Suter and Brian Adams.
I got to meet this guy. Will you introduce me to him?
Yeah, Carson Graham High, North Van.
So, look, you see how much fun we're going to have over the next 2 hours, everybody, with Danilo Rashovich?
Yeah, Danilo. That's my real first name. You know, my father's from Montenegro, so I have some half sisters and half brothers, and Danica, Dushanka, Pero, and Danilo.
All right, so here's the thing. We're going to be taking viewer comments. Western Dodge brings you the text line. It always does, 902-518-3033. But we're bringing in the heavy artillery here, a Hall of Famer in the form of Dan Rashovich. Well, we've got a lot of other things to get to as well, because you're from Toronto. You went to school at SFU in Vancouver, played across the CFL, but you're a worldly guy. The World Cup, I would think, got you excited. Am I right?
I'm not a huge soccer fan.
That shocks me.
But I'm looking forward to, just the excitement of all the countries coming into Canada, the United States, Mexico. I mean, I'm excited for the game today. Hey, got to cheer for the red and white, obviously, right? So I'm really excited about it, But obviously, my mom's German, so when Germany's playing, I like to watch that. I got relatives there still, and and obviously, hey, I'm looking forward to the games.
Well, yeah, but you're a sportsman, and the other thing is the NBA Finals. You're into that?
Oh yeah, I watched that game. That was amazing, just amazing. Like, it's unbelievable, actually. I mean, I felt like the fans at the Gardens. I mean, they didn't leave.
Oh.
I just couldn't believe it either.
It's such a special,
amazing.
It's such a special place. I'm so glad that I went there in March. So the questions are coming in here. John in Edmonton says, wrong shade of green. I'm going to throw up, but the Edmonton Elks have the right shade of green in the CFL. Sorry, but it's true. That's from John. They're not playing this weekend, John, so take a break. Edmonton has a break. But you know what? It's a Football Friday, and week 2 kicked off last night with Hamilton winning at Winnipeg 37-27. Did you watch the game?
I watched parts of that. I was going back and forth between hockey and the CFL game. So with my father-in-law, who was like a 55-year season ticket holder with the Riders. And, I mean, again, Hamilton's looking good. They're looking really good. Bo Levi, his arm, because I know there was some question marks the last few years about his arm, but it looks like his arm's healed because he's throwing some nice deep balls. Yeah, looking good.
Well, John Murphy was on here last week. Murph has been on a couple of times. He's going to analyze CFL football for us. And, hang on. These questions are coming in. Hang on, everybody. We're just getting rolling. We got Raz for an hour and 20 minutes, okay? So just chill. They got questions about SFU. They got questions about everything. But Murph said that he thinks Bo Levi Mitchell is going to have a renaissance. I don't know what people tell me. What is he now, 36, 37 years age? He looked 30 last night.
And then he took off and had a nice run for a first down, and he looked good. You know what? He looked pretty smooth, for that age.
Yeah, so I want to just preface this all. We're a couple minutes before our first break here, so settle in, fill up your coffee. 902-518-3033 is the Western Dodge text line. It's a home game weekend. The Rough Riders are hosting their home opener against the BC Lions on Saturday night. I'll be at the game. Raz is taking his friend. And the beautiful Laura. I'll get this one question out of the way. BW wants to know, in the time we have left, Raz, is it true SFU, Simon Fraser University, his alma mater, is trying to bring their football program back?
I know there's some workings. So whether it's in the U.S. or whether it's in the CIS, I think more likely it would be in the CIS. So I've heard some rumors through alumni that I think there is some efforts happening in that direction. Yeah.
Okay, well, Raz is here. We got a lot of old-time stories to get to, some analysis of Saturday's game with the BC Lions at the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the Stanley Cup Final. As you said last night, you were watching it. I was watching it. We were all watching it, and now Vegas is facing elimination as they go home Sunday night for Game 6. So it's a wonderful time in sports right now as we've got the Stanley Cup Final going on, CFL Week 2, NBA Finals, World Cup, as Raz mentioned earlier. Really the only thing that's not playing is the NFL. And I'll say this, in your time with the Raiders, did you collect a paycheck while you were there?
No.
Are you sure? It's a long time ago. You remember?
I remember. No, I did. I went to 2 mini camps, and it was amazing. Like you mentioned earlier, Al Davis, Nel Segundo at the facility up there on the lift, right at center field, with his all dressed in. I remember he all dressed in white and had this long scarf with these tassels, hanging on the turf sort of thing, and just sort of surveying the situation of everything, because it was all the draft picks. It was first, second, third year players. And then
I gotta stop you. Corey, tell me when we're taking a break. There's a teaser, everybody. So for when we go to air in hour 2, when we go to air in Vegas, you save those stories for when the Raiders fans are tuned in, okay, on Silver State Sports. So, how are we doing on time? 1 minute now? Okay, 1 minute now. So see what we're saying? Our good friend Raz is here. We're going to get into why he has not been recognized but should be as the CFL's all-time special teams tackles leader. And maybe, can we mount that, or did you drop the sword on that?
I would say drop the sword, but it would be nice
to be recognized.
It would be nice, but again, how do you go back sometimes, right?
Yeah, all right. So see what we're saying? So we got a lot of time. All-time special teams tackles leader in Canadian Football League history. We'll tell you why he is and why, unfortunately, it's going to be hard to have that recognized. We have a lot to get to, so get comfortable, everybody. The YouTube chat is open. Lots of comments coming in from the viewers. We're talking a lot of Canadian Football League today on a Football Friday. And Matt DeBuck will be joining us, CFL alum, in hour 2 as well. We'll be right back on the RP Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks? Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help.
Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lainey Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
21-time nominated Grammy Award winner Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert. June 24th, 7 p.m., Temple Garden Center. Dwight Yoakam. On sale now at sasktix.ca. Dwight Yoakam Live.
Oh, all right. Welcome back, everybody. Well, you said you're going to Alabama. You should hear the conversations in the break. I thought you meant the band Alabama, because we're sitting here watching Country Thunder and Dwight Yoakam. He's going to the state of Alabama. Danilo Rashovich, better known as Dan Rashovich, is here. Saskatchewan Roughriders Hall of Famer, Raiders alum. We're saving the Los Angeles Raiders stories for hour 2 when we go to air in Nevada. We got all the comments have come in from the viewers. Utah Darren this is a good place to start. He's watching in Salt Lake City. He says, "You're killing me, Vegas. You're killing me." How do you think they feel? You said you watched the Stanley Cup last night. Dan's just a great sportsman. That's why we get along. They weren't, in my mind, really in that game last night. They were down 4-1, ended up losing 4-2 in Carolina. They go back and host Game 6 in the Fortress Sunday night, facing elimination. How do you think that's going to go?
I tell you, it's amazing. Like, I've watched both those teams with their other series, and it just seems like in physicality, they were able to just control the boards. Now it seems like Carolina is controlling the boards on Vegas, which is amazing. But you know what? When you take that many penalties, it's not helping you. Like, man, like Vegas took a lot of penalties. You know what? So, yeah, that's going to kill you, right?
Well, I'd be happy for both teams. I want Vegas to win, but I'll be happy for Carolina. And when you were starring with the Rough Riders, Rod Brindamore was starring with the Notre Dame Hounds just down the road. Do you remember that coverage back then when the Notre Dame? No, I'll take that as a no. But Rod Brindamore was won the Centennial Cup with the Notre Dame Hounds. That's fine. But all the talk, and we're going to get to the football. We got 2 hours, though, with Raz, so just hang on. All the talk is of John Tortorella, because I know you're not the biggest social media guy like a lot of us, but John Tortorella after the game, one of the reporters said, "Did you consider making a goaltending change and putting in Aiden Hill for the third period?" And he goes, "Christ, that might be the stupidest question I've heard." And he's getting roasted for that. What do you think of Tortorella?
It's amazing the job he's done coming in. Obviously, he's got everybody kind of going on the same page. So he did something. There was something that he did something to change the attitude in the culture just for that in that short period towards the end of the season and to carry it through the playoffs. It's amazing.
Well, it's funny you say that. And what you say you can't argue with these results. I would say over Tortorella's whole career, you can't argue with his results. And I want to get into some of your stories of the coaches you liked and the coaches you didn't. Jeff, the Stampeders fan, writes in and says, "But what a great series. Imagine going 16-3 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's if Carolina wins Sunday night. They will." Utah Terran writes in regarding the game last night. He said, the Bomber game, he says, "I saw the Rum Hut during the game on TV. I thought I had the wrong channel. I thought I was on the Spring Break MTV live show." That was the big party last night. The Rum Hut. They say it's Winnipeg's most banginest nightclub, which We knew a few back in the day, eh, Raz?
There were some clubs.
Right. We don't. Yeah, the players don't go there anymore. Shane Mellinson's writing in from Deer Valley, Saskatchewan. He says, hey, Dan, nice to see you again. You talk about the change that Tortorella made. I guess while you're here, Ray Elgard came on the show on Tuesday from Vegas, and he only said 2 F-bombs and 3 S-words. That's not bad for Elgard. And he brought up the sports psychologist that you guys brought in, Gary Greger, in 1989. What was your take on that?
There were a couple things I didn't like, but there's a couple things I really liked. You know, I liked the idea because I know Ray probably mentioned it, where we measured our ring finger, and then on game day we put a piece of tape on that finger, and I just felt that was something that kind of pulled the team together in terms of accountability. That, you know, that I think mentally it kind of brought us together, you know, that aspect, you know, and I would say that kind of helped, you know, because that's the thing. You want to bring everybody together, you know, and be accountable to each other, and, you know, don't make stupid mistakes, whether it's a penalty or assignments or those types of things, because it's those little things, that 1% that makes the difference between winning and losing.
Well, what's interesting about that is he mentioned how the team came together over the last 6 games. We're getting all geeked up, and we're trying to keep on top of your comments here, folks. We got Raz here. We're all excited to have Raz here. But these early season games, frankly, are just important as the October games, yet we don't tend to take them as seriously, but we probably should.
Oh, we should. I mean, because you look back and go, man, you know, you let those ones go, right? You know, and you want to come out you want to have a strong start. I mean, it's funny, last night they showed Hamilton, their starts in the last 5 years, like 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, like for the last 5 years. And finally now they got they're 1-1 and they got a win under their belt. And you feel a lot better when you get a win under your belt, you know, in just terms of that momentum, you know, for Hamilton, say, for example, or any team, right? You know, you want to start off on a good foot. That's for
Well, since we're sitting here and we have fans from all across the CFL watching right now, you mentioned Hamilton and how great Bo Levi looked last night. I mean, I do have Winnipeg picked to finish last, and nobody in Winnipeg really jumped on me for that, and they normally do. They went into Calgary and won last week on a walk-off field goal, and then last night they just didn't look too good in my mind.
No, I mean, they look good and bad, in moments, right? And
Stemsky looked good.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they haven't used them more. You know, I just said that to my father-in-law last night. Man, they're not using him a whole lot, it seems, you know, getting him the ball. But he is getting older, right? You know, maybe, you know, is that, or just not getting in the ball, you know? And Winnipeg, yeah, the running game wasn't great last night either with the O-line. Obviously, you need but, you know, Claros, he didn't get hit a lot last night either, which is good, right? You know, especially at his age, right? You know, and that'll be the thing with the Riders too. They'll keep Harris standing up, right? That'll be key, right? So, but we'll see. You know, it's still early, obviously, right? So, you know, it's kind of nice to see this week with the games. You know, we got Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Montreal to see the stadiums full.
Well, they're off to a good start with what we saw. When Montreal will be full, and this one will be on Saturday. Dan Rashovich is here. Fans from across the CFL watching. Utah, Darren. Oh, you guys are all talking about ticket sales. I don't care. I just want to talk about the games, but. Yeah. With Raz, he's got a really cool resume, and to be honest, if you don't toot your own horn, nobody's going to toot it for you, so let's toot Dan's horn. Where's my horn? There's a reason he's in the Hall of Fame, folks. Just rattle off some of the stats you were mentioning, what the seasons played, and the special teams tackles are one thing, but there's a lot.
It's just, I was just mentioning, yeah, you know, just I guess I'm second in the CFL in terms of a defensive player in terms of games. So I think I am 255 regular season games. I think.
And who's won?
Oh, Mike O'Shea, great player, you know, great coach too. So yeah, I mean that's kind of an interesting fact. And hey, I never dreamed of that. All I want to do is make the team my first year. You know, when I got drafted, and who would have thought that would have turned into a 16-year CFL career? And you know, you think about it, you know, I just think about it just being a kid, you know, because I remember telling my parents I was going to play in the NHL.
You never told me that.
Oh, I wanted to play like every kid, but I remember telling my parents I'm going to play in the NHL, or I would tell them I'm going to be in the Olympics, or, you know, and then football came later in my life, you know, just because of circumstances. So Yeah, it's funny.
I learn something every time with this guy, and he's such a great friend. I didn't know that. But 16 seasons, man, when the average career was 3 when you play years, now it's 1.5. Why do you think that is?
Man, 1.5. That's a good question.
I think it's because the players are more than ever treated as discardable. And that's in pro football. That's CFL, NFL,
Yeah, that's a good point for sure. Maybe, is it money? Maybe players, I don't know. Is it maybe players are making, I don't know, are they making more money at a certain stage of their life? And then maybe teams are just looking at it financially and going, you know what, we're going to get rid of you. Maybe.
I know it's worth having a coffee over. And I don't know what it is, but that's what it is. The money is more, you're right. But I was like, we work with athletes post-career a lot in my other careers, and the numbers are still the same. Still 75 to 80% of pro football players are broke 3 years after retiring. That has not changed, even with the money as crazy as it is, and that's a story for another time. But while I have you here,
I'm learning stuff too, Rod.
True, whatever you want to know. I got the negative news. He's got the positive news. John Ohm writes in from Winnipeg. He says, Dan was a great player and one hell of a great, polite person. Bless. It's funny because he said he had to race over here. Don't tell the cops, but he did, to get here on time. He sped. And I said, did you ever get off on a speeding ticket because you were a rider? Do you want to tell that story that you said?
Sure, I'll tell that story. So I was around Kindersley. I think I was doing some sort of a function, and I was doing 140 on a single lane on 100. Well, all of a sudden I see the lights behind me. I pull over, and obviously it was RCMP, and we kind of got taught. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Why are you driving so fast?" Well, I was coming down a hill, and it was kind of a bank turn. And that's what I told them, it's just sort of the momentum sort of carried my vehicle, I said, and we got talking, and then he comes back and he goes, okay, because he could have probably seized my car, I guess, at 140 on 100, but the ticket could have been crazy. But
it's dangerous driving. I've had that.
Yeah, so it was reduced. You kind of reduced it. So basically it was like not dangerous driving. So then got the ticket, and I said thank you, and then we got kind of, because I was doing Believe in the Gold then too, the children's cancer event. I was organizing that event so we ended up talking about that, and then I think football did come up a little bit, and so we had a good chat, and I said thank you, and and off I went. So he turned around, I went direction kind of coming home, and then I remember I was doing some renos on a property, and I had to phone Home Depot. So I actually pulled over on my cell to talk on the phone. I wasn't driving and talking on my phone. I actually pulled over. Well, all of a sudden, I see lights pulling up behind me again. I'm like, oh my God, now what? Well, it was the officer coming back, and he goes, you seemed like a really nice guy. I canceled your ticket. The whole ticket. I got that ticket. I got his last name. I'm not going to say it. I won't say it, but I got that ticket pinned on my wall in my man cave at home still. I should have brought it in if I knew we were going to talk about it.
It cost nothing to be nice. And Raz beat the ticket not because he was a rider, but because he was a nice guy.
There was another one too. It was by Chaplin. It was by Chaplin. I got pulled over, and again, I was speeding there, and then I asked the officer, I go, well, how fast can I go? And he looked at me, goes, if I give you that answer, I'm going to give you the ticket. It was kind of like when Brock Lesnar was going to clothesline me.
Oh, yeah, that was in Verdun?
Yeah, it was in Verdun. So anyways, the officer goes, you know what? I got another call. So he let me go. Anyways, so it's twice
I just noticed you love the riders so much your eyes are green.
They are green.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah. Brings out the green, yeah. Wayne is watching in Victoria, BC. He says, it's great to see Raz on the RP show. Noni is watching in Calgary. She says, happy Friday, Rod, and so awesome to see Dan there with you. What a special teams master he was. You ever been called that? A master? She says, I'm on my way to the motherland for the game tomorrow, so might run into you. Go Riders. Bob is watching in Medicine Hat. He says, g'day, Rod and Dan. I'm back watching your show, going to Regina tomorrow morning for football. Have a great day, guys. So thank you, Bob in Medicine. All of you drive safe. And what have we learned here today? Drive within the speed limit. Right, no speeding. Well, we have Raz here, and it's just a couple minutes until the break. This might have to go over into the next segment, but would I be overstating it to say you hated Don Matthews or was just a dislike of Don Matthews?
It depends on what stage. Yeah, there was a moment where I did hate him. Yes, I'll admit that. Yeah, I hated him. But I was like, I just don't like people when you lie. Yeah, that's all. You know what? But that's pro sports, right?
Well, it's funny you say that, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I kind of meant to put you on the spot. But Elgard here the other day, he goes, I played for some coaches I loved, and I played for some coaches I hated. But at the end of the day, I did my best every day, and that's why you're both in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, I asked him to cut me or trade me, and he says, no, you're under contract. And I was like, yeah. Like,
you just want it out?
I just want it out. I mean, I'm glad it didn't happen because then Ray Yauch became head coach, and he just said, just show me what you can do. You know what? And things carried on, right? It was amazing, so because I basically had a year of basically sitting on the bench, and not doing a whole lot. So yeah, that was a tough year.
What? Okay, we'll be right back with Raz right after this.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lainey Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina. This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's the RP Show, Football Friday, live from Western Dodge, our beautiful longtime sponsor. Let me tell you something about Western Dodge. Drive with confidence. Shop Western Dodge. Financing, selection, and service you can count on. We're saving the Los Angeles Raiders stories with Dan Rashovich next hour when we go to air across Nevada. Here we're across Canada. Game Plus streaming. Thank you to our Canadian overlords. WQVZ, which is in Alabama. Radio they carrying. I never told you that. And you're going to Alabama. He's a man about the world, Dan Rashovich. Why don't you tell the folks about that trip?
So, ex-teammate of mine named Paul Tripoli. He's from Syracuse, New York. And we've been staying in touch. Last time I've seen him was 1986 when I played with the Argos. We were roommates with the Argos for 2 years. And he was a safety. And he walked on to Alabama with Bear Bryant, because he always wanted to play there, and he made the team. He was all SEC, and anyways, we were roommates, so we've just got in touch with each other because he's got season tickets with Alabama. So he said, "Come on down and see me, man." He goes, "Let's go to Tuscaloosa." So I'm gonna go see the Iron Bowl on November 28th, and then also Eddie Lowe, who's former rider. He's the mayor of a little town called in Phoenix, Alabama. So he's going to come to the game. And actually, this friend of mine, Paul Tripoli, and Eddie Lowe, they were teammates at Alabama. So we're going to catch that game. And then the plan is to catch that Saturday. And then we're going to catch Monday Night Football in Tampa. And going to do that. And hopefully I'm going to be seeing you, which I'm really looking forward to. And then there's another teammate down there, Gary Rogers, who is a linebacker. Might see him. He lives in Florida. And then my brother-in-law is in Orlando. So anyways, I'm really, really looking forward to this.
Well, you should. And it's your birthday trip.
Oh, yeah, it's my birthday on November 30th, too. So that'll be fun.
I was telling Raz that I won't be going up to Orlando and Pensacola, but I will go to Tampa. I go there all the time. And I don't mind that trip at all. I'd love to. Gary Rogers, I can't get rid of Gary Rogers. You know how number 42 is.
I haven't talked to him since we made those calendars.
26 years ago?
We haven't talked. Just maybe a text here and there, but that's it.
Well, you guys got a lot to go over. There's a lot of CFL alum in Tampa Bay, by the way. Drew Willie's there. Corey Sheets is there. Gary Rogers is there. But no, we were just talking with Elgard the other day about that 1994 Saskatchewan at Las Vegas game, and Gary Rogers was writing in about that, saying what a great game Elgard had and obviously how hot it was, but you weren't there.
I missed that game. Yeah, I can't remember. I have this hand injury here. We played at Edmonton, and I kind of shattered my knuckle and bone, had a compound fracture, but I missed that game. But I remember, obviously, I remember some of the players there too, like, Cavilo, and I remember hearing the guys. I remember the national anthem.
Casey Parks.
Anthem. Yeah. Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Tannenbaum.
Which, by the way, that guy still won't apologize for butchering it. He's like, "You're welcome for making it memorable." Casey Parks. He's still singing in a lounge in Vegas. What a shock.
Maybe we'll go see him.
Yeah, be perfect. Kevin the Medium. Kevin the Medium is, thank you for getting us on track, Kev. Kevin the Medium is watching. He is not coming to the game Saturday for family reasons. BC Lions fan, just moved to Saskatchewan. Our Thursday and normal Friday football co-host here, but I said, we'll give you the Friday off, Kev, because we got Raz coming in. He says, who is the one player that you hated lining up against the most?
Ooh. That's interesting, man. That's tough, especially being a linebacker sometimes, because there's so many different players. It's not like you're on one guy constantly, like a defensive lineman. I guess some players, that they were tough. For, like, when I think about it, like Cherry, running back, just
Tony Cherry,
yeah, Pinball Clemens, guys who were really scat backs. You know what I mean? Like just Damon Allen, Doug Flutie, like those kind of guys, just tough. Pretty tough to catch.
Elusive, yes.
Yeah, elusive. I'd rather have guys where you kind of know where they are. Like Blake Marshall. Hey, big guy. Or Tony Burse. Like on that picture, I think maybe it's on the show. That was after I stuffed him on the 1 yard line in Western Final.
I want to say something about Raz. By the way, you see him right now. Anybody that's watching this right now, if you're a longtime CFL fan, you would remember Raz because he played 16 years. But all these photos he sent me, I said, and he didn't volunteer them. I said, Raz, send me some photos of you playing to promote your appearance. Every one, you're jumping around, celebrating. You remind me a lot of Alex Singleton, another non-import Canadian linebacker. You guys remind me.
You got a story about there.
Okay, tell me.
So just ran into him. I was in Calgary for the University of Calgary's Dino 5th quarter dinner fundraiser for scholarships. So he was the speaker. So Alex was there. So me, Matt Finley, we got pictures with him. And yeah, you know what's funny you say that, because when he was speaking and talking, because I'm kind of excited, I'm excited. I felt, you know what? It's funny you say that,
Yeah. Well, Alex has been on this show multiple times. He's a good friend of ours. And I remember watching you play. And then when I watched him play, of course, he was with Calgary, and it pissed me off because he was so good. You know what I mean? So he's celebrating in front of but he's smiling. So I'm like, how could I be mad at this guy? He's just loving playing the game. And you are exactly the same.
You know what's funny about that? So he went to Montana, right? Yeah. So my freshman year, we played University of Montana, the Grizzlies. I'm trying to remember the head coach. Larry Donovan. Larry Donovan. He ended up being the head coach of the BC Lions down the road. Well, my freshman year, we played Montana. As I'm walking off the field, because I started as a defensive lineman, like an end, he walked up to me as I'm walking off the field, goes, "Hey, son, that's a hell of a game you had." He goes, "You ever want to come down here? You give me a phone call." Like, that's my freshman year, like second game of the season, and Simon Fraser, I'm already getting recruited to come down to Montana. It's funny. I told Alex that story too.
What was the core of Alex's speech at the Dinos banquet?
Well, I think there was a part of it was just the challenges he went through, like when he had testicular cancer, and how it showed up as he was taking drugs sort of thing, because it's just the way the chemical reaction or something with testicular cancer. It came up, and he's like, "What the hell?" He goes, "How did I get?" He got this letter from the NFL saying, he's sort of on drugs. Well, he's thinking his career's over, like he's done. And then went in for more testing and found out he had testicular cancer, and that was creating the skewed results on his tests. And that was a big thing that stuck with me. And basically the message is, hey, get tested, right? Go get tested, for, your blood test for cancer and et cetera. That was kind of a big message from him too.
What a story. All of it. Alex's is a great story. Get tested, and he comes back and plays in the same year.
I know. It's amazing, eh? But hey, like he said, they caught it early, right? So because they caught it early, he was able to come back and play. Yeah, that's amazing.
Any questions or comments? Old time football, current football, whatever. What?
Oh, it's just amazing that you bring that up about Alex.
There are no coincidences, Raz. I know you feel that way. 902-518-3033. I don't know how much time we have. Not a lot of time, like 90 seconds, I think, producer Corey. But it's interesting because we don't have time here. Right after the break, we'll talk about exactly 2 minutes. Okay, when we got back together here a couple weeks ago, was Glenn Kulka was speaking. And he blew up his knee, WWF, Monday Night Raw. We were all there, never played again. And he's thanking God now because it changed his life, but it wasn't at the time.
No, I remember because he was at WWF here in Regina, and he did some sort of jump off the turnbuckle and some sort of backflip. I mean, we were all there, and he blew his knee out. And I remember going to the hotel after to see if I could help him out, or what do you need? What would he bring you? Yeah, that was pretty devastating for him. It really was. That was...
Well, when it happened, because in that era, you're not coming back from an injury like that. You knew. Probably.
Yeah, like he was, it's funny, he sucked it up, right? Because he's a pretty tough guy, man, but he sucked up the rest of the match, I guess, and there at the Agribition. And, but yeah, I'm glad he's turned his life around, in terms of the heart.
It's funny because we're sitting there, he's telling his stories, and that I work in this addiction recovery field now. Kulka's telling the crowd about being in a field with a shotgun in his mouth with his dog beside him, and Raz is like, "There's kids here. He can't tell that." And I'm like, "No, this is good for the kids to hear this." To be honest, that's real life stuff. And Kulka was really real that day at the battle, youth battle for recovery here in the Queen City. Anyways, Raz is with us for a few more segments into hour 2. Matt DeBuck will be joining us as well from, Texas Tech alum, CFL alum of the Argos and the Bombers. He's so mad at this Brendan Sorsby situation out of Texas Tech. The quarterback was banned by the NCAA for gambling, and then a judge in Amarillo, Texas, reinstated him to play. I don't even know what DeBuck is mad about with this, so I said, why don't you come on the show and you can explain it, and we'll preview the Week 2 games as well. You played against DeBuck. You may or may not remember, running back for the Argos and the Blue Bombers. We'll be right back here on the RP Show from Western Dodge in Moose Jaw.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You would think this is the unofficial Rough Riders pregame show, but it's not really. Raz has his rider shirt on. I got mine. We're at Western Dodge and Moose Jaw. It's a home game week. So last night, we're talking a lot of CFL. It's the hour. It's the Canadian hour of the RP show. Next hour, we go to Aaron, Nevada, and Raz will talk about his time with Raiders minicamps in Los Angeles. And 902-518-3033 is the text line. Vintage Sasko writes in, on the Western Dodge text line. He says, "Hey, Rod, I bought a calendar from Gary Rogers. I can't believe that was 30 years ago. Signed Vintage Sask." Those calendars were lit, as the kids say. Do you remember what the charity was for it was a charity.
You know what? I can't remember.
Sold a lot of calendars, though.
Sold a lot of calendars. Me and Gary, we hung out a lot there at that time, and that was that 97 Grey Cup, and that's where the calendar kind of came from. It was amazing.
And Scriv was in that calendar. I remember all that.
The whole team. I mean, the whole team was in the calendar. It was amazing. It was a great idea. Hey, it was a great idea.
I got to be honest. It would be nagging me if I don't bring this up to you. So I was looking at Raz's career. I mean, you can go look at it on Wikipedia if you want. You didn't start with Saskatchewan, but you played with Sask 88 to 99, and his last year was my first, and we stayed very close friends ever since. But you didn't start with Sask, so tell the viewers before you came here who we were playing.
Well, it's funny. 13. The number 13 has kind of been coming up. It's kind of a lucky number for me. But so I was drafted 13th overall by Ottawa, and so I played in Ottawa my rookie year. Started like 11 games, middle linebacker, and then I got traded in the off season to Calgary for Bernard Quarles, and so I went to Calgary, and so I was there for training camp, and then I got a little tiff with Steve Bratto was the head coach, and he said, if you touch the running back or something one more time, I'm going to cut you or trade you. Well, I broke the huddle. I just let the guy know I was there. I didn't go down to the turf. No, I just a little bump on the shoulder. Hey, well, the clipboard went flying and this and that, and he started yelling and screaming. And well, next thing you know, I was traded to Toronto for Emmanuel Tolbert and Daryl Nicholson. So they were both Eastern All-Stars, I guess, that year. So I was in Toronto, played in Toronto for 2 years with Obilovich, which was fun, and Chris Woods. So Chris Woods was a receiver. He ended up, he played for the Eskimos, played with us, and then he ended up going on those Raider mini camps with me as well. So I played 2 years with Toronto, but then I played so I wasn't starting as much because Don Mullen was there. Started a little bit, but special teams was our special teams player of the year both years there, just like in Ottawa, and then I wanted to play more. Oh, that's when they had the equalization draft. I was drafted 3 times too, so they had the equalization draft. So I wasn't protected by Toronto, so Montreal picked me in the equalization draft as well. But then I went to like you said, went to a couple of Raiders mini camps, got released, and then they had the dispersal draft because I went to Montreal for training camp in Halifax late, and then we were going to our first game on the bus to play Toronto regular season. Team folded, and then we had the dispersal draft. So that's when I ended up in Saskatchewan with Dave Ridgway. We both ended up here in '87. So I missed the first 3-4 games of '87 because I stayed at home on my mom's couch for a little bit. I didn't come right away. And then I ended up here. And so, again, I was with the Riders for 13 years, drafted overall, 13th overall, 13 years with the Riders. My daughter was born on the 13th. Yeah.
This has been a lucky number for you. So I want to get to your career with the Riders in a second. But again, when I say this is going to nag me if I don't ask you. And he said earlier, at times he did hate Don Matthews. Tell the story about when Matthews was coaching the Argos and you made a tackle right in front of him. Remember that on the sidelines, and you.
Well, that was after.
Yeah.
After, I kind of I had 2 fumble recoveries that game. We beat them in Regina, and I ran across the field with the football, and I held it right in front of his face like this, and I said, "Have another fucking donut." So was I not supposed to say that? But
you and Elgard,
I got to catch up with Elgard, hey.
Have another donut. He said, "Sorry, Alabama. Sorry, WQVC."
I apologize.
You got worked up.
I got worked up. Oh yeah,
you just had the moment ahead.
It's funny. Like I still remember seeing some video and guys pulling me away, like as I got this ball held in his face, and they're pulling me away from the sidelines. Hey,
let me guess, he just stared at you.
Oh yeah, I had to run across the field too, and just. Anyways, yeah.
Was another time? I think I was with you. I think he might have been coaching the Argos when we were there, and we left, and he had the young girl on his motorcycle, and you said how nice you to bring your daughter to the game.
Something like that. Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah,
wasn't his daughter?
No, his young girlfriend. Yeah.
Anyways,
good looking gal.
He did okay.
He did okay. He did okay. You know what? He did okay.
So the one thing with you guys, because I have friends in Florida that are original Canadians, and when they think of the Riders, he goes, we think of Elgard, Narcisse, Poli, Oldeg, Rashovich, right? That was just such a special era that will never happen again.
It was a great group of guys, like, I mean, hey, Bill Baker, he built that team for Al, and then Al Ford took over, and I remember chatting with Bill Baker sometimes, and he just said, you know what, we need to get, when they were rebuilding, I guess, because the team hadn't made the playoffs for 11 years, and he goes, we needed some toughness, and think about it, like James Curry, he was on that team too. Yeah, I played with James in Toronto for 2 years as well, and and obviously here for a few years. I mean, he was a good player. He got after the quarterback. We led the league in sacks for at least a few years there, and we just.
I'm just saying, the way the players are moving around now, no team will ever have that kind of core ever again in the CFL.
Yeah, it was a good core when you think about it. Like at Vince Goldsmith, and James Curry, and we had Bobby and Gary Lewis, and Dave Albright and Eddie Lowe, and we had some, that's just, I'm talking about defense, right? And some great players,
The gang. Well, so some thoughts on what do we got for time here? Tonight's game, we got a few minutes. Toronto at Montreal, and then of course BC at Sask. What are you looking for in these games?
So me and my father-in-law, for the last 4 years, we bet $10 every CFL game, every game. So I picked, today was my pick. I picked Montreal. That quarterback, man.
Yeah. I think he's the best in the league, and people tell me I'm nuts.
I don't know if he's the best, but he's up there, man. Like he is up there, and he's good. He's a good young quarterback.
Well, Chad Kelly hasn't played in a year. What do you think he'll come out with tonight?
No idea. That'll be interesting, hey? Because I haven't seen nothing. Like, have you seen any preseason games or any clips or anything? I have no idea, So it'll be interesting. It'll be fun to see what kind of offense they have. So, but I don't know. I just think, I like that quarterback from Montreal. He's
Davis Alexander looking to go 13-0.
13. He's won 13 regular season games now.
It's 12, but yeah, we'll hear tonight a million times.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm looking forward to. Well, hopefully they win because I want that $10 from my father-in-law.
And then the Riders and the Lions on Saturday.
Man, well, I'm looking forward to that game. I mean, Rourke, come on, he's amazing. I think he's a great quarterback. He really is, So it's gonna be. I mean, hey, I got to pick the Riders, but that's actually my father-in-law's pick. So. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. You know what? It's going to be an interesting first game. Who knows, right?
Well, I don't know why I'm not. I used to go into every week and look at the point spreads and all that. I don't even feel like I need to. This is going to be a tight game.
Oh, it's going to be for sure it's going to be a tight game. I mean, you got two great quarterbacks. You have two good quarterbacks, and you got one that can actually throw and run, right? Rourke. That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I shouldn't have had to clarify. By the way, fans, we are brought to you by Uniglobe Carefree Travel out of Vancouver. Score a touchdown in the Caribbean. Join CFL legend Adam Bighill and Saskatchewan Roughriders linebacker Jameer Thurman on a 7-day cruise departing from Fort Lauderdale on February 20th. A once-in-a-lifetime experience for CFL fans. Prices from $18.99. Cruise only. Contact Neil Chark at Uniglobe Carefree Travel. Neil at uniglobecarefree.ca. I will be, oddly enough, not wearing green tomorrow. I'll be rolling in there with the BC Lions crew on Saturday. So, yeah, I'm not cheering for either side, but I'm just hoping nobody gets hurt and we have a good game. How about that? Brian in Winnipeg writes in and says, great interview. Being a longtime CFL fan, nice to hear these stories from former players. Rod, get more of these players on your show. Well, how about that?
Hey, appreciate that a lot. I got a lot of stories, trust me, 16 years.
And your friends' stories. Put this in my column that I wrote. Brian, you should read rodpedersen.com. There's tons of CFL coverage there. And I talked about Kulka. I said, with this new broadcast deal in DAZN, if these new networks want to profile colorful CFL stories from the past, you might want to start with Glenn Kulka. I mean, how much did you enjoy you guys played pro sports in 4 different sports. Football, hockey, MMA, and boxing. The guy is just a freak.
It's pretty amazing, hey? Because I guess I didn't realize at what level a hockey player he was. Yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, oh my God, like, and then you won that contest, I think, in Edmonton. So You Think You're Tough? He looks pretty tough, eh?
Even now, he's 63.
Yeah, he looks pretty good, huh? Yeah. So no, Glenn's amazing individual. Like, you got to get him on your show.
We're working on it. He's a little hard to pin down. Do you think that might be a thing with Glenn Culkin?
Yeah, it could be. But you know what? But hey, it'd be great to have him on your show. Hey, to talk about what he's doing as well.
I want to say he said he's sober 15 years, maybe 16. What did you take away from his speech at Dark Hall that day?
You know what? Because I'll be honest, we haven't spoken. We really haven't been in touch since the 90s. So it's interesting, the journey that everybody goes on and the trials and the tribulations that they go through, and for me, seeing Glenn, first of all, it felt like it was yesterday. Like when you're teammates, you're in the trenches, you're on the field, and even, after the game, hanging out, it felt like it was yesterday. Same person,
We'll be back in hour 2 right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You know what? I got one.
How about that?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. It is a Friday. We like to call it Football Friday, but hockey is very much alive in Sin City as we welcome our Nevada viewers here on Silver State Sports. We're still streaming across Canada. Game Plus is YouTube, our own YouTube channel, and of course WQVC Radio in the U.S. South. Story again to the Bible Belt for the F-bomb that dropped in hour one. It wasn't me. It was this guy. Los Angeles. Yeah, lost story. Are you really sorry? Yeah, he is. He's a good guy. Dan Rashovich here, Los Angeles Raiders alum, for a couple of cups of coffee. I'm calling you that. And these days, we're going to get into it all. And also a Canadian Football League icon, legend, Hall of Famer, and champion. But because I told Raz to get ready because we're going to air in Nevada here on Silver State Sports. And as we get to the warm-up, the Quick Six show topics, we have to open with a Stanley Cup playoffs. I would be remiss if I didn't. Of course, number one, it's what everybody's talking about across Canada and through Nevada. Jordan Staal, .1, scored his sixth goal of the Stanley Cup final as the Carolina Hurricanes defeated the Vegas Golden Knights 4-2 in Game 5 Thursday night. The Hurricanes now are up 3-2 and can end it Sunday night in the Fortress in Las Vegas. Now, I predicted a Vegas series win of 6 games. That's out the window. If they're going to win it, it's got to go 7. John Tortorella said after the loss last night, he's leaving his clothes in the hotel in Raleigh because they're coming back for Game 7. Raz is a footballer, but a hockey first. I didn't find out until today. Should have known. You're from Toronto. And you had a pretty good take on the game last night in the series.
I loved the game. It was great. I mean, I just can't believe how Carolina has just turned it around. It's amazing when from the they lose both games at home, and they've just turned it around. It is pretty amazing, and how they're winning battles on the boards, man. Like, I was surprised, because I thought Vegas, they're a big physical team too. But it just seems like now Carolina seems to be winning the battles on the boards. But you know what? This last game, just the penalties just killed Vegas. Like, the amount of penalties, hey, and then they get that 4-minute penalty, the major, for the high stick. It's just, it's tough, man.
Well, the thing with hockey, it's different than football, is you got to flush it, you got to forget it, and come back and hope the Game 6 is a different game. I would say the last 2 games, Games 4 and 5, this is not the Vegas team that we got used to under John Tortorella and throughout all of these Stanley Cup playoffs. And I'm remiss. So I'm all excited to have my buddy, longtime buddy here, Raz. His last season for the Saskatchewan Roughriders was my first, 1999, and we stayed close friends ever since. And we're live from Western Dodge, Moose Jaw's go-to Ram, Dodge, Jeep dealer, Western Dodge and Moose Jaw. They've opened their doors to us, and I always try to bring down a big name when I can, and I got Raz here. So do you think that's the one thing with football? It's harder to predict. I mean, game by game for hockey, it's hard to pick, but do you think they can flip the switch, Vegas, and just be who we think they are?
I think it's possible. Sure it is.
Yeah.
Sure it is, but you got to stay out of the penalty box too, right? And some of those penalties were, in my opinion, were kind of questionable. Some of them. Except the high stick, and you get blood and stuff like that. But I don't know. Some of them were there were some questionable penalties, in my opinion, too. So let's hope that they let them play, right? Like, don't be calling penalties, that it can influence the game that much. That's in my opinion.
We had a call in Game 2 that influenced the game too. So you don't want officiating too. But these are great teams, as you say. It's the championship series, and let's hope that it's not over yet. Because I am still pulling for Vegas. Trust me, clear to me you're cheering for Carolina. Did I get that?
I don't have a team. I just want to see good hockey. It's kind of like when I watch people go, what's your favorite team in the NFL? I don't have a favorite. I just want to see a good game, But I do. I guess, it's funny, back to the Raiders thing. Yeah. I had a chance to go to Green Bay or the Raiders to mini camps, but I always like the Raiders, Like, deep down, I always like the Raiders, I love the black and gold. It's kind of like the hat I gave you. Or the black and silver, sorry, black and gold. What am I talking about?
I have it right here. Listen, I'll keep that under wraps until you adjourn. This is the last segment with Dan Rashovich, by the way. Matt DeBuck is coming, and you all know Matt DeBuck. He's our regular football analyst here. Cardinal Gibbons, one of the top high schools in America for high school football. Texas Tech alum, CFL alum, Grey Cup champion. DeBuck is coming in next. But Dan Rashovich, this is the segue. I said Raiders alum. Now, back when he played, they didn't have, when you go to a mini camp, all of a sudden you're alum. Now,
Back then, that wasn't the case, but you got some great. I told the Vegas viewers that we would have a Raiders alum here, and that's you. And you got some great Al Davis stories from your time. I know it was brief, but it was time, more than most, in L.A. with the Raiders.
It was fun. I remember I had a choice to go. I think I just mentioned I had a choice to go to do mini camp with Green Bay or with the Raiders, and I was like, man, the Raiders, eh? I always had. There's something about the Raiders at that time, with Lyle Zato and all those guys, Howie Long and et cetera. And I was like, huh. So went down, and I just remember Tom Flores, I remember sitting in the amphitheater, because it was first, second, third year players, all the draft picks, and then free agents. And I just remember sitting in that amphitheater listening to Tom Flores. That was like, the one thing that I remember, he would say some things 3 times. And he would say it 3 times. You knew it was important. That's for damn sure. And I still remember the one thing too. I was in not Lester Hayes, but Haynes. He was a corner. I think I had his locker. And I also remember that Tom Flores talking about, hey, you don't have to take anything or steal anything. Because they had a stack of, sweats, shirts, all this gear. If you want something, you ask for it, in terms of just even, I remember our linebacker coach too, just on the field, we were kind of doing warm-up drills, and he goes, this is, because everybody's excited, and we're in a warm-up and we're all going fast. And he's like, slow down, as he's smoking on a cigarette on the field. And he's going, slow down. This is a warm-up, So anyways,
you're trying to make an impression, and it's the L.A. Raiders. What facility were you in? Do you remember?
In El Segundo. It was in El Segundo, and so we were there. And I got a story about this warm-up stuff with the Riders during training camp too. I can tell you that really quick. But anyways, then another huge memory is Al Davis. Al Davis. I mean, right in the middle of the field, they had a lift up on the 50-yard line. So I don't know, he's up 50 feet high or something, and he's watching practice and surveying. And then I remember he came down the turf, and Howie Long's on the sidelines with a bunch of the veterans, and he's just standing there all dressed in white, and he's got this long scarf with the tassels. I could picture it still.
In the summer,
just they're on the turf, his scarf kind of hanging there and kind of watching and surveying, like, because this is his team. Like, this is his masterpiece, right? Being there all the time. And I could sense that, And then I remember I missed a supper almost once too. And then a guy, one of the directors, said, hey, do you need a ride? I said, yeah, I need a ride back to the hotel. He was off the cheerleader tryouts. So he's telling me about heading over to the cheerleading tryouts, as he was going to drop me off. And it's pretty.
What was it like? You had already been a CFL All-Star by then. What is it like to get to an NFL camp and look around and go, whoa?
Well, so it's interesting you say that. I sure didn't feel out of place, I'll tell you that. Then actually there was a little article, I guess, in the Sporting News, I guess back then. I wish I would have saved it. And they said I was one of the best cover linebackers, because covering running backs out of the backfield here, because we have motion. They can run at the line of scrimmage, and you have to give a little distance off. You got the extra yard off the ball, but there's no motion and no running at you from the line of scrimmage. So, and personally, I found it easier to do man coverage, smaller field man coverage on covering and running backs. So, anyways, there was some bright spots. There were some bright spots. I went down with a guy named Chris Woods. He was a wideout. He's one of our receivers with the Argos, and he actually made the Argos back, made the Raiders that year.
Well, there you go, Vegas. There's about 4 to 5 minutes of really good L.A. Raiders stories from Dan Rashovich in his time.
I don't know if your listeners, but so back to that warm up with the Raiders. So I've always, I always remember that. Hey, this is warm up. Like, this isn't the time to get hurt, going full speed through warm-up drills. So I remember we had during training camp with the Riders, when we had a sort of guest coach from the U.S. Well, we had the bag set up, and Albright and Eddie and all the rookies. We probably had 10 linebackers or whatever, right? So we're doing the warm-up. So I don't know. I was a veteran, and instead of going between the bags, I stepped on all the bags. Well, the linebacker coach kind of lost his mind. What are you doing? I said, hey, this is warm up. I said, we can still have a little fun.
I learned this in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, he was freaking out. And
who was it?
I can't remember, but the guys were laughing like, you know what? Hey, we can still have some fun, right? We can still have some fun. I know he wasn't very happy by me not going between the bags, but stepping on top of the bags.
Well, and for the NFL fans that are watching right now, and by the way, Matt DeBuck is coming up in our next segment to talk about all these things and more. But Dan played 16 years in the Canadian Football League, unofficially the CFL's all-time leader in special teams tackles because they weren't counting it when you started.
They missed my first 7 years,
right? And that's a lot of special teams tackles because that's what he did. But if for the fans who watch the NFL now, Alex Singleton, Denver Broncos, is today's Dan Rashovich as far as I'm concerned. And I guess while we're sitting here, everybody watched what Alex did, leading them to the AFC Conference Championship game a big part of it. I mean, the quarterback did, Bo Nix. But what do you see of that AFC West this year? I guess you obviously are following the Raiders, and the Broncos are going to be good. The Chiefs are in that division.
Okay. And Mahomes just signed a new contract, right?
Well, extended his current one.
Extended his current contract. Man, that's gonna be tough, eh? You got with the Broncos too. I mean, they're gonna be good, and the Raiders. I don't know who's gonna.
You said you didn't have an NFL team. Can we say it's the Raiders?
I'm gonna say it's the Raiders. Yeah, for sure.
Now would be a good time. Nowhere to go but up.
Yep. When I look back, I should have went to the mini camp with the Packers because that year was Tom Flores' last year as head coach. If I'd have known that, because as a head coach, you're not going to change a bunch of guys that you actually invested and put money or, put time with, because I remember one of the linebackers, he was from, I think, Boise State, and it was his third year, and he was a bigger guy, more of I'll say like a Matt Millen style type linebacker, it's like at that time, Rod Martin was there. So he would have been more my kind of size, like a 225, 6'1", 225, so yeah, and I looked at the roster for the Packers back then, and I would have been more suited physically in terms of the types that they look. But I wasn't even, as a player, I wasn't thinking that kind of stuff at all. And how I got there, just so you know, I put tape together of my first 3 years in the CFL. I put tape together on VHS back then, if people remember what that is. So, and I sent it around to NFL teams and got 2 offers on sending my VHS tape, and that's how it happened.
Well, so there you go. Dan Rashovich, Hall of Fame linebacker. Will you come back and do it again this summer?
Hey, I'd love to, Rod.
Okay. And he's going to visit us in Florida in November. Before we break, we got a couple of minutes. You are following the NBA Finals. Real quickly, does it end Saturday night?
Ooh, well, the numbers show in terms of whatever team is up 3-1. The numbers are pretty heavily favored. I think they flash it on the NBA. They flashed on the game. I think was 38 or 39. Teams have won when you're up 3-1. So man, if they can come back, that'd be pretty amazing.
Oh, those games in New York look amazing.
It's amazing. Hey, I know. I'd love to. You know what? I have caught an NBA game. I've caught a couple NBA games actually in Phoenix. Yeah, with the Phoenix Suns.
I feel like there's nothing like MSG, though. What's going on there is just, the games have been great, the epic comeback, but the stars and the celebrities, they do it different in New York.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, hey? Especially that. It's amazing. They set her 29 points to come back from 29 points. That is amazing. It's incredible.
Well,
I'm so looking forward to the game.
Well, I'm getting a kick out of the coaches of both series. I think it was Tortorella that said that the NBA wanted to steal a page out of the NHL's book because the comebacks have been wild and the games have been crazy. So then they did that, and at halftime of Game 4, they said it was the second largest lead in NBA Finals history. I'm like, there's no way they can blow this, can they? And they did. So, yeah, what are you looking most forward to, Game 5 of the NBA Finals or Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final?
I can't say, man. They're both going to be good. Like, this is if you love sports, this is heaven. That's all I can say, man. This is heaven.
I feel so. That is too.
That's awesome. I can't wait till the evening. Okay, what am I going to watch? Oh, I got this tonight and I got that tonight.
Okay, that's why we get along so well. And the other thing, Dan Rashovich is his name. Look him up. You love those NBA Croatian basketball players, don't you?
Oh, well, you got guys from Serbia, Croatia, Montenegro. My dad's from Montenegro, so yeah, you got a bunch of those guys. Well, look at the Olympics, in the U.S. and Serbia, like. you got a population of 5 million or 6 million, I think, versus, what, US is what, 350 million maybe or something like that. But just again, it was, hey, even watching that in the Olympics, that basketball was great, is great basketball. But you know what? The world is catching up, right? The world is catching up in all sports.
Well, and we haven't even talked about World Cup. And how are we doing for time, producer Corey? As Matt DeBuck is going to be joining us next. I know we don't have a lot of time left here, but what's your interest level on World Cup and who are you going to be following? We only got about a minute.
It's going to be wearing our red and white, of course. I mean, hey, it's going to be great. I mean, our first game's today. I think we're playing Bosnia-Herzegovina. And again, that was part of former Yugoslavia, which borders, again,
your place,
yeah. Actually, I was there. I went rafting. I caught a river when my daughter was 13, and we rafted all the way through there into Montenegro. Anyways, but no, looking forward to the World Cup. You know what? It'll be exciting. It's not my number one sport, but I will be watching World Cup.
After all what we just talked to, football is your number one.
Football's number one. And hey, love hockey, love basketball. You know what? I guess soccer will grow on me.
Yeah. He's perfect for a show like this. And by the way, follow our social media channels at Rod Pedersen Official, at The Rod Pedersen Show. We will be hosting a live stream with Gosh next Thursday. We'll be right back with Matt DeBuck right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
RP Show continues on Silver State Sports. I apologize to all the viewers. I just saw now all your questions for Dan Rashevich. He has promised to come back. We'll do it again from football fans all over the continent. Now the next legend is in. Matt DeBuck, Grey Cup champion, joining us. Hey, Coach, how you doing down there in Fort Lauderdale? Ready for the weekend?
Yeah, we give their guys off on Friday, so we go Monday through Thursday. So it's nice to get home a little earlier today.
All right, three-time state champion Matt DeBuck joining us from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Talk about all things football. You and Raz played against each other, knocked heads back in the day a few times, Coach. Listen, you know why I want to bring you on. We're going to get to CFL Week 2, whatever NFL topics there are. Are you still worked up over this Brendan Sorsby Texas Tech situation? Are you still as worked up as you were the other day? Can you explain it to me, please?
Yeah, I mean, I'm for him being banned, and the only reason why he broke the golden rule. Like, you can't bet on your own team. It goes back to Pete Rose. It goes back. Now, other people do it and they don't get caught. Well, he got caught, and he shouldn't be playing because he broke the golden rule. So, that's my stance. Even though I'm a Red Raider, find somebody else to play quarterback next year. I mean, that's all I can tell you.
But we're not done just yet. Like, I was surprised for a few reasons that, number one, it's your alma mater. I would have thought you'd want him to be playing. And by the way, it was an Amarillo judge, right, that they've blocked the NCAA ban. I don't know what the ruling. How much about this do you know? Nobody beats the NCAA. How did this judge in Amarillo overrule the NCAA?
The NCAA is the governing body of college sports, and if they make a ruling, they make a ruling. You shouldn't be able to go to a judge from a circuit court judge and get it overturned, and that's what exactly happened. But I don't think there's any staying power. I think it'll be overturned when the NCAA decides that, but because this is a line drawn in the sand here. I mean, you can't let these kids get away with that. Men that are playing football get away with that because, next thing you know, the kid's going to miss a kick on purpose, or he's going to miss a, bad snap, or we're going to drop a ball, and we're going to point shave. You're just opening up Pandora's box. And if that's opened up, you're going to hurt the quality of the game. And then obviously people are paying a ridiculous amount for tickets, and they're going to stop going. At some point, the rubber's going to hit the road, and the NCAA's got to make a stand here, and they can't allow this kid to play.
Well, we're a long ways away from kickoff, but let me ask you, does it mean anything to you that the kid said, Brendan Sorsby, I'll go for treatment for gambling addiction, and he's completed that? NCAA didn't care. Does it carry any water with you?
No. Listen, he broke the golden rule. The first meeting you have when you go to a place like that, compliance comes in and talks about gambling and talks about it's a death penalty if you do it. So he knew what he was doing. He at Cincinnati and at Indiana, he was hubris about it. And, can't make 8,000 bets and think at some point you're not going to get caught. And he's making $5 million a year at Texas Tech. I mean, the kid knew what he was doing. I mean, come on. Let's be real about it.
Well, there's some questions that come in. We have other things to talk about. Does that scratch the itch that you wanted to discuss on the Brendan Sorsby thing with Texas Tech?
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, good. Jeff, the Stampeders fan, writes in and wants to know when your first game is, Coach DeBuck, your first regular season game.
It is August the 21st.
Okay,
August
there
the
you
21st.
go. I think you're getting a lot of fans from our viewers here on the RP Show, which is fantastic. So I haven't talked to you in a while. You must have been busy in terms of Week 2 Canadian Football League games that opened last night. Hamilton winning in Winnipeg 37-27. Tonight it's Toronto at Montreal. And, of course, Saturday the game that people in my world are all excited about, BC Lions at Sask. What's your take on Week 2?
Well, I watched the game last night. I kind of figured that was kind of going to be the way it was going to go. I thought I liked Hamilton in that one. But the rain, completely messed some things up. But both quarterbacks I thought were very good. I think Winnipeg's defense isn't quite what it once was. But I thought the quarterback play on both teams was good. Got a lot of playmakers, and I'll go back to the CFL. What I've seen the last few years, the kicking game is phenomenal. These kickers are great. They are so accurate. They punch these 50-yard kicks like they're free. So I don't know how they practice it out there or what they do, but their operation is phenomenal. And I enjoy the kicking part of the game in the CFL. And I like the goalpost up. It's going to kind of be sad pushing them back, but see the guy behind trying to navigate whether he's going to get that ball if he misses. And it just another obstruction, which makes it kind of interesting. But the game from the other night, I thought, or tonight, is Toronto-Montreal, right?
Yep.
I don't know much about Toronto. I watched Montreal play last week. I thought they were good. They're kind of lacking the explosive home run hitter receiver, Montreal. They got 4 or 5 guys that are pretty good, but they're missing that long guy that can stretch the field. Their running game seems to be okay. So I'm interested to see Chad Kelly come back tonight. I'm really fired up about that game. I want to see him get back to that form he had prior to getting hurt because he was really good. But I don't know much about the Argos other than I think they have 2 really good running backs. So that'll be kind of interesting to watch how that thing plays out tonight.
Is this what you would vote as Canada's game of the week, this one tonight, Toronto at Montreal?
Yeah, I think you always have that rivalry between the 2 cities, and I think there'll be a nice crowd in Montreal. Hopefully the weather's good. I'll tell you who I do like too. I like Ottawa, and I thought they just had an off night last week. I think they're going to be pretty good. The competition in the league is excellent this year. I don't see very many weaknesses on any roster, so I'm interested to see Toronto tonight and see where they're at. I think it's a 6.5 point. They're underdog by 6.5. I don't think you can do that with Chad Kelly at the helm.
By the way, Coach Matt DeBuck joining us from Fort Lauderdale as we talk CFL. Raz is still milling about, so for the viewers that have questions for Raz that I didn't get to, I'll sneak you back in here. We got time when Coach DeBuck is done. John Ohm writes in, he says, speaking of kicking, do you think a 70-yard field goal will ever be made? The record is 68 yards. I thought the CFL record was 63, to be honest, and the NFL had a 70-yard field goal last year made in the preseason, right? The way these athletes coach, and you're very in tune with the kicking game now with your son, what they're doing, I don't think anything's unreachable.
I've got a kicker right now that I think might be as good as we've ever had, and I had Blair Walsh, which kicked in the NFL at Seattle, and I think this kid's going to be phenomenal that I have right now, and he's kicking 50-yard field goals, and he's going into the 11th grade. He'll be a Power 4 player. So I enjoy the kicking game. You get a good wind, you get a little bit of luck. I saw Blair Walsh hit a 62-yarder in high school to win us a game. So it can be done, and I think that CFL kickers are really accurate and really good. So could it happen? Yeah, I think Castillo is really good. I mean, he's really accurate. Out west, I think Renee, the Calgary kicker, I think he's
Paradis. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think he's. He's really good too. So
by the way,
game is good.
Oh, sorry, Coach. It's 63-yard record in the CFL because I called it. Paul McCallum, 68 in the NFL. And there is a really big difference between the 2 leagues when we're talking about field goal distances for obvious reasons, right?
Right. Well, the ball, I think, is a little bit different too, which might have a little bit more to play. I think the ball in Canada is a little heavier. So, but again, you get a nice win on the prairies or, you got a shot there.
So the last game of the week, we'll wind this up on the CFL, then any other NFL topics come up or anything else you'd like to discuss is, of course, the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the BC Lions. I'll be at the game Saturday. Looking forward to it, Coach. I'll be thinking of you. That's what we think is the game of the week. What's your break on your read? You love Trevor Harris, the Saskatchewan quarterback, against the face of the league, Nathan Rourke. To me, it's the game of the week. Our viewers voted it by 74%, the game of the week Saturday.
My relationship with Jeremy and Kyle Carson is good and close, and and I love Trevor Harris, and I love the running back. I don't know that Nathan Rourke is pretty good, and I think this could be BC's year, from what I'm seeing and hearing and reading. So I'm excited for that game too. I'm fired up. I got Friday, Saturday night. I'm all set. I don't need to do anything else. I got the games on, and I just enjoy watching it. It's a good product. I wish the people in Canada would just get behind it more. These are good players that play with speed, and I mean, some of the catches that I've seen the last two games are just incredible. And the league is so big, the field is so wide. It just makes it fun. I'm going to make it up there one day. I really am. I have, that's my goal when I retire from here. I want to go up there and experience that.
Well, you're going to be coming because your kids are going to be playing in the league. So you got a long time to wait, Coach, before you do that. So, yeah, we're excited for the game Saturday. I'm very excited to be there as well. Thursday, Friday, Saturday games in the Canadian Football League. But as we sit here, and, you know, we just had a Raiders guy on the air, and Dan Rashovich, we're going to bring him back on. Is the AFC West, let's talk a little NFL here, and we'll get to the Dolphins in a second, but AFC West, is that the toughest division in the NFL?
I was listening to the show earlier, and you guys were talking about it. It is pretty competitive. You know, and as a Dolphins fan, you know, AFC East, it's just we haven't been able to scratch the surface against any of these teams over the last 10 or so years. And I'm a friend of Adam Gase, and, you know, he struggled there too. So I don't know if we're cursed in Miami, but that AFC West, you know, with Kansas City, now the quarterback, he's back. I mean, like you said, Denver is, you know, really good. So, yeah, I think the NFL is going to be fun to watch next year, and seems to be the teams are becoming more and more competitive every year. Maybe it's better coaching, better players, but you know, that's what keeps people watching.
Well, what's funny is one thing that I've learned about the NFL in the time that I've been in the States is every fan base knows every other team's business. You know what I mean? We can talk about any team and people are engaged. Like, for instance, with the Dolphins, I guess you're a Miami fan because you live there, but they're also the most frustrating team to you. And I get it. That's like me with the Cowboys. But there seems to be some hype. The Dolphins have sold that Malik Willis is going to be all that and Jeff Hafley. I don't necessarily believe it, but I've sensed some positivity there before I left. Or did I misread that?
Well, when you're charging what you charge for tickets, they have to have the positive meter has to go out. I don't know how good the quarterback is, to be honest with you. He's had some highlights which are good, but it looks like they restructured the whole thing and tore it down and rebuilt it. I just hope in the long run, as a kid going and watching Dan Marino and watching those great teams, you know, with Shula and whatnot, the fans deserve, my guys my age deserve that at some point in their lifetime, because we just haven't had it, and it's been frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny because I was on a show the other day. They knew that I was a Cowboys fan. They said, it's really quiet in Dallas. What's going on there? I said, let's keep it quiet. Quiet is good. If Jerry's not talking, that's a good thing. There's no drama. I mean, we'll have enough of that throughout the summer and into the fall with the Dallas Cowboys. But, again, you're following of all the teams, Coach. I mean, is this the year that the Cowboys actually make the playoffs?
I mean, I think when you talk about the Cowboys, that's to be expected. You know, they have that moniker of America's team. You expect them to be good. They've disappointed the fan base just like the Dolphins have. But they've had some more recent successes than we've had. But I think the NFL, you know, you talked NBA earlier. They, you know, in New York, Madison Square Garden, all that like Dallas's Madison Square Garden is like, that's the mecca of the NFL. And you'd say the CFL is Saskatchewan. So, you know, I think all of that being said, there are expectations at those places. And if you don't meet those expectations,
That's what goes along with it. Everybody wants to play there. Everybody wants to coach there. But they don't understand the pressure that goes along. Mike Davis, who's usually in this spot, I said, what team has the most pressure on it in the NFL? He said Dallas. He didn't even have to think about it, right? Doesn't scare guys off necessarily, I don't think. There are other things that do. I want to ask you this, too, since I have you, and we're just going around the NFL. How much do you think the grease fire that was the Patriots offseason involving the coach will affect this team, if at all, this year?
I think it could. I really do, because he's exposed on something, and now he's losing some credibility. Maybe the players don't listen to him the same way they did. Maybe the organization, is going to have a shorter leash with him. But he did a great job, Mike Vrabel. But that was last year. This is this year coming up, different year. So we all know it's a new season, new problems, new things to deal with, better teams, figure you out. So there's a litany of things that go on with that. And I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. No.
It was a hell of a story, them making it to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure the NFL was real happy with that particular matchup. But as you say, that was last year, not this year. Another topic. I've been talking to a lot of New York people lately. John Harbaugh, how much of a difference is he going to make with the G-Men in year one?
Classic. The guy's he's a winner. Great coach, structured, great. I think he's going to turn it around. No doubt about it. He's won for a long time at one place that was hard to win. So I see him turning that thing around. No doubt. I like him.
All right, Coach, just in a couple minutes we have left, what else is on your mind here in this hot Florida summer for you? You said hockey season's over for you. You're not even paying attention to the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm more into the CFL games now. That's kind of consuming my time, watching those guys and, looking at what Danny's done in Montreal with Davis Alexander. I mean, he went on a limb getting rid of a winning quarterback, your favorite guy, getting rid of him and bringing in a rookie, and all of a sudden this guy hasn't lost. That's another reason why I'm kind of interested in this game tonight. I think he's a little banged up. So we'll see if he still plays at that same level, because he plays physical. My theory is, I don't like running my quarterbacks. I like to keep them, upright in the pocket, get it out quick. But again, watching those games, they moved Bo and they moved Winnipeg quarterback. What's his name?
They moved him.
Winnipeg. They were moving the pocket all night.
Oh yeah,
and they were throwing off point and very accurate. So Caleros, I mean, he was moved. They were play actioning him the whole night, so they had him on the run, and he's a really good quarterback. They just got to keep him healthy.
And you were watching that game on CBS Sports Network last night, huh?
Yep. And tonight it's on, and then the SAS game is on CFL Plus down here.
All right, sounds good. And how am we doing for time? Producer Corey, I think we're going to be skedaddling soon. Oh, okay. We only got about 45 seconds, but we're going to be talking a lot of Texas Longhorns football. How's that going? Your son's a long snapper for the Horns, huh?
Yeah, he's doing great. Working hard. Hey, but I want to change the subject because I got 30 seconds. I want a picture of you and O'Day at the stadium Saturday night. Can I get that?
You want what, did you say?
A picture of you and O'Day together.
I'll be with the other team, but I'll see what I can make happen for you, Coach. I know you'll be tuned in regardless. All right. All right. Thank you, Coach.
Care.
I appreciate that. It's going to be fun Saturday when we are at Mosaic Stadium for the Week 3 finale in the Canadian Football League. Corey, what's happening on the time? We'll be coming right back. More with Raz and a viewer. There you go. And more with Raz right after. We'll get those questions answered. Mark in Burlington and all you folks. Sports update and viewer takeover right after this. Silver State Sports.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's the RP Show on Silver State. So Braz is back. He wasn't going anywhere. We're going for lunch afterwards. And I looked down and saw there was a bunch of questions for you from the viewers. So before we go any further, let me just get a sports update in for our friends at Ultimate Fan Zone. Don't dress like a spectator. Dress like a fan. Check them out and shop online at ultimatefanzone.ca. A couple of things. There are other sports going on besides football. Tampa Bay Lightning winner Nikita Kucherov beat out Oilers center Connor McDavid to win his second Hart Trophy as the NHL MVP in the closest vote in 24 years. Phil Mickelson's longtime membership at the Farms Golf Club in San Diego County has been revoked after he was accused of non-consensual and inappropriate physical contact with a female employee. Whoops. I didn't hear that one until I just read it. Did you hear that one?
I didn't hear any of these.
No, I didn't hear any of these. Raz says Auburn junior Jacoby Tharp broke the 110 hurdles world record at the NCAA Track and Field Championships, running a time of 12.75 seconds to eclipse the previous record of 12.8 set back in 2012. I know you love athletics. And the Denver Broncos giving head coach Sean Payton a 5-year contract extension through 2030. Denver has gone 32-19 and made back-to-back playoff appearances since he took over 3 seasons ago. Some guys win, man. Winners win, and Sean Payton's one of those. So I appreciate the guy. Mark Knight watches us every day. He's in Burlington, Ontario. Yeah, and he writes in 902-518-3033. He says, Rod, please ask Dan if he remembers my brother Lee Knight, the slot back fullback with the Ticats. Oh,
I sure do. Lee's a great guy, great player. I mean, he was in that 89 game. And I actually remember when Matthews was head coach, and I remember my knee locking up because I was supposed to get surgery, some cartilage taken out of my knee, and I had to cover Lee out of the backfield into the flat, and my knee locked and that wasn't good.
There you go. He remembers your brother, Mark. There you go. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the question. Kirk is watching in Toronto. 902-518-3033 writes in on the Western Dodge text line. He says, hi, Rod. I do remember Mr. Rashovich as an Argo, but it was during the CNE days and the famed boat logo. Oh, sorry, he goes, was it during the famed CNE days and the famed boat logo, or did you play in Skydome?
Exhibition Stadium. It was awesome. We shared the field with the Blue Jays. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
You must have some stories out of that.
Yeah, well, I just remember going to my first Blue Jays game, actually, in Toronto, skipping high school that day. I went to Runnymede Collegiate, and I remember the hot dog guy up in the bleachers kind of going up the stands, and all the hot dogs are falling out down behind him, and people weren't giving them back, put it that way.
When's the last time you thought of that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
40 years ago, probably.
Oh, man, yeah, for sure. So Exhibition Stadium, loved it, man.
Isn't this kind of blowing your mind, the comments that are coming from the viewers? What are your thoughts on this whole thing today?
I love it. I love it. I love the fact that we can talk about anything almost. That's what I really like too, and it just feels like, you're kind of open to talk about anything, and even, the caller in just with that question about Exhibition Stadium brings back some memories. I remember seeing, oh my God. I'm trying to remember who was playing there. How can I forget?
A concert?
It's the Boss, yeah.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, Springsteen. I remember seeing Springsteen at Exhibition Stadium. Totally. I remember going to that concert there.
Okay, so hang on. So what a show. From the feed, the account WHL1986 writes in, he says, Rod, where can we catch your live stream for the World Cup soccer game against Bosnia? It's the one that I'm doing is next Thursday. It's not today. So you got almost a week. It's Thursday night. It's on a streaming platform called Gosh. If you, WHL1986, go to my personal Twitter, at Rod Pedersen, it's pinned to the top. And it's through the Bitcoin, the crypto casino BC game. And it's a European betting company that we're working with that have brought me in to do the live stream. They're calling it a watch-along next Thursday for Canada versus Qatar. As you know, you asked about Bosnia-Herzegovina. That's today, which I guess that's where you and I are going to go find a place to watch this.
Yep. We'll have to go check that out for sure.
Any requests?
For what?
To where to go?
Oh, I have no idea where to go.
It's my town. It's my town. We'll figure it out. We'll go watch the soccer game this afternoon. Oh, Coach DeBuck's still watching in Fort Lauderdale. He says, nice shirt, Rod. Thanks, Coach. Thank you, Coach. I don't know why he doesn't like yours, but that's Coach DeBuck. Okay. How much time, Producer Corey? I think we're going to be breaking here right away, right? We've got more questions coming in, but I know we don't have time to get to them. Okay. He says, Raz, he wants a Bobby Jurison story. Whatever you want, everybody. It's Friday. It's like the teacher's put his homework away. Let's have fun. Overtime coming up. Whatever you want right after this in Overtime.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon
and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's overtime for our great friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Get the kids out of the house. They're missing playing hockey. Take them down there. $20 an hour. They can shoot all the pucks they want in a variety of lanes, and you have a chance to win $500 with a lucky shot in the Rod Pedersen Show lane, 28th Street Northeast, Calgary. Norm Fong has written in, the Hall of Fame equipment manager of the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Los Angeles Sharks. I always told that in there in the Regina Pats. He says, Rod, Raz is awesome. Signed, Fongo. That's your equipment manager for your 13 seasons. Before we get to the Bobby Jurison story, tell the Brock Lesnar story. For all of the viewers watching in Nevada on Silver State Sports, they'll know that name, Brock Lesnar. He was going to knock your head off?
Well, so I used to work for Baker Hughes, which is a oil and gas service company, probably the third largest in the world. And so I was doing on behalf of the company, because Lanny McDonald's also worked at Baker Hughes. I worked with him at Baker. So we did a sportsman's banquet in Verdun. And it just so happened that Brock Lesnar was also speaking it was a fundraiser for the sports complex. So it was Lanny, myself, Brock. Lanny spoke first. I spoke second. And then I was kind of reminiscing about just rules in the game where back when, say, Bill Baker played, and you could head slap, you could clothesline quarterbacks, and I was right towards the end talking, and I kind of signed off, and then Brock got up and just said, hey, if you weren't going to shut up soon, I'm going to clothesline you.
Well, I did a banquet with him and Marty McSorley, and he was talking like that to Marty McSorley, and I thought it was hilarious. It was the first time somebody might actually beat up Marty McSorley. Because who's going to imagine being the toughest, baddest guy in the world? That's kind of what Brock is.
Yeah, I would 100%, man. I used to wrestle.
Is that what you would have been in the Olympics for?
Well, yeah. You know what? I used to wrestle against Bob Molly, silver medalist for Canada in the Olympics, 1984. And I used to wrestle against Bob. And, at first when he was younger, I kind of held myself. I could hold myself a little bit, but then he got better and bigger. And it was like, hey, he's a silver medalist. Yeah.
Look what we're learning today. Okay.
Arlen Bruce checking in, the two-time Grey Cup champion like you, CFL, NFL alum. He says, RP and Mr. Raz, great shirts. One day my agent asked me to play in Sask. The only reason I didn't go to the Mighty Rough Riders because I didn't know how to pronounce it. LOL, which there's a lot of folks like that, man. Easy to draw. Yeah, AB spelt it wrong down the side of his car.
Saskatchewan.
Painted Saskatchewan down the side of his car. Number 4, great defensive back.
Great returner.
Albert Brown, great returner. Yes, he had the problem when the team gave tickets to his wife and his girlfriend when they put them together. That was not a good. Bobby Jurison, the viewers want to the all-time sack leaders. Well, here I think he was at one time in the CFL. He's not anymore. Bobby Jurison, number 71, wore a bandana on his head. Fans could buy those in the team store. One of the most beloved Rough Riders of all time, number 71, Bobby J. What do you want?
Great player, man. Love playing with him. Great player.
You got to have a story.
Well, I got it.
You can tell the one.
I got the one training camp story. So, hey, 2-a-days, hot summer, so Bobby's got this basketball shoe, that he wears, every day after practice, 2-a-days, sweaty feet, barefoot at that, Band-Aids, talcum powder, whatever else goes on your feet and whatever else is in that basketball shoe. Well, we end up going to, for a few beers one night in Saskatoon, and I think Hendrickson was there too, and he might have been a big part of this as well. So I just remember by the end of the night, people were lined up to drink out of Bobby's basketball shoe as we poured beers into the basketball shoe. So people were lining up. We had trays and trays and pitchers of beer for people lined up to drink out of his boot, we used to go, why are we waiting for you to shoot the boot? Ooh, And people were just fucking chugging beer out of Bobby Jerson's basketball shoe during training camp.
There you go, John Ohm. I hope you've all enjoyed this little trip down memory lane here today. Yeah.
What would be nice is maybe from somebody in Saskatoon could just text in saying, yeah, I drank out of that boot.
It was a long list of people. Yeah. Arlen Bruce, AB checking in. He says, Brock Lesnar is my guy on some real stuff. Jeff the Stamps fan says, you went out for beers after 2-a-days? Wow. It literally was a different time.
Well, you can still have
You got to hydrate.
You got to have a couple of beers. Just got to manage it properly. Yeah, it's not like we have to have 20.
Some did. Oh, Glenn Kulka.
Some did. Yeah, some did. Not all.
Okay, all right, Raz. So that's it. We have just a couple minutes left. I really appreciate this today. Anything that you have not got off your chest? There's been a lot of talking over 2 hours and a lot of fun.
I don't know, man. You know what? This has been a lot of fun. It's brought back some memories. I'll tell you that. You know what? It's funny, like when you getting into a situation like this, because you don't think about these things all the time, right? And things jog your memory. And sometimes my memory is a little foggy, just a little. 255 regular season games. There's a lot of head contact.
As a linebacker, I said to Raz a few years ago, I said, "Do you ever have a concussion, Raz?" He goes, "I don't know." You don't know.
Hey, we were playing tag out there.
Right. All right. Brent in the Bridge City says, thank you, Dan. Rod, I'm giving you guys the boot. Hey, I get it. It's been a great way to roll into the weekend. A fantastic summer weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy all of the sports. There was a lady that called this the ultimate sports variety show, and she couldn't have been more right as we talked all the sports, NBA, World Cup, Stanley Cup Final, NFL, CFL, and all the rest. Thank you, AB. John Ohm says, have a great, fantastic weekend, everybody. Great start with the RP show. That's right. And we'll see you back on Monday as we'll be back at Golden Ticket Sports Center talking more of your favorite stuff. So thank you to our viewers across Nevada here on Silver State Sports. Follow our social media for what will be a very fun weekend as we take in the CFL Live, cover all the sports at The Rod Pedersen Show, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And we'll do it all over again Monday, noon Eastern live, Game Plus streaming. Yeah, WQVZ podcast, and as always here on Silver State Sports. Be safe, everybody.
That